Hi guys, today we're going to be testing out a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. e.l.f. has launched quite a few new products over the last year that I've been really curious to try, including their Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I've actually been testing this out for a few weeks now, so this won't be like a first impressions of that. This will, however, be my first impression of the Halo Glow Pressed Powder. I've been a huge fan of the loose powder for a long time, but this they recently launched. I will say, this is the lightest shade it comes in. It looks a little dark, so we'll see. I also have their new Finest Fleck Glitter Eyeshadows, Camo Liquid Bronzer, also one of the new shades of the Camo Liquid Blush, and quite a few other things. I do want to say, stay tuned till the end because there will be a little surprise at the end, but let's go ahead and get into this full face of e.l.f. First things first, before I even apply foundation, I am going to go in with the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. This I have been testing out for my upcoming Brow Glue Showdown. I brush through my brows backwards first, just to get every hair nice and coated. And now I'm going to brush the other way. And you can see this product is white, coming right out of the tube. It's white, but it should go on clear. And then I like to use this built-in comb, just kind of like the flat side of that, to press the hairs into place. And this is where I really feel like the magic happens, where this kind of just sets my brows in place. And I do feel like, at least right now, they look laminated. By the way, there will be a wear test in this video, so I'll be checking in at the end of the night to show you how everything wore, so we'll get to see if those brows really stayed put. Alright, so now that my brows are glued, my primer for today is going to be the e.l.f. Invisible Sunscreen. This is SPF 35, water resistant, and it says blurs and primes. And it's actually getting dark outside. I am starting this makeup look at 4:49 p.m. It does feel kind of silly to put sunscreen on when the sun is down, but that's okay. So this is totally clear. It does have a scent. It smells like a nail salon to me. Yeah, it does have a fragrance to it, kind of, I don't know how I would describe it. Like, it definitely has a little bit of that sunscreen smell underneath because it is a chemical sunscreen. I don't know, there's like a little bit of a floral or like kind of perfumey fragrance, but you can see that's what the texture looks like. Similar to like the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen. Has a very similar feeling as you apply it, kind of like it just feels like a silicone makeup primer, honestly. Normally when I'm testing a primer, I only put it on one half of my face, but today I actually want to also test out a setting spray from e.l.f. So I'm thinking that will be this product that I apply to just one half of my face. Can't really do that with more than one thing at one time. So there's that sunscreen. I have to say, and I have tested this several times already, for me, I definitely have to wear a moisturizer underneath. Today, underneath this, I have on the Thayer's Milky Toner and the Kopari, it's like the ceramide whipped face cream. I definitely need some additional moisture underneath this, and I do feel like sometimes it can just be a little bit drying on my skin, but it does give a really nice blurred look to the skin. I don't usually love this type of texture in a sunscreen, but I know a lot of people do. Like, if you like the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen, you would probably like this as well. It feels very similar to me. So I do like to let that set for about 10 minutes. So while that is setting, I am going to do some eyeshadow. For my eyeshadow primer today, I actually have two from e.l.f. These will both be in my upcoming eye primer showdown. I have the Shadow Lock eyelid primer. This one they've had in their line for a long time. And then the newer one is the Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. So they both have the word lock in them, which gets confusing, but the Lock It Down is the newer one. And this is the one we're going to use today because I do think, without spoiling my eye primer showdown, I do like this one a little bit more. I actually just picked up something from e.l.f. that's been out for a long time. I was eyeing this in Walmart the other day, and just the more I looked at it, the more I kept thinking, this just looks like the perfect mini all matte palette for me. I don't have any all matte palettes in my collection. I've been kind of on the hunt for one, but I feel like just a small one like this is perfect. And this is the bite-sized eyeshadow quad in I Love You a Latte. I know I hear Andrea Mitigliano recommend this a lot, and she finally influenced me. I love these two beigey browns and how one is warmer, one is more neutral. So I'm going to use this as like kind of the base for my look, and then we'll go in with those Finest Fleck glitter eyeshadows. So first I'm going to dip into this lightest shade in here, and I'm just going to apply that from the crease up. The e.l.f. eyeshadow primer is just the slightest bit tacky, and I do like to just set really from the crease up, make sure that it's not too tacky when I'm going in with my mattes. So now on a fluffy crease brush, I'm picking up some of this more neutral light brown, kind of buffing that into the crease, but also all over the lid. I love this shade. I have already used this palette once, and I have to say I was really impressed with the blendability of the mattes. I actually only have 2 brushes from e.l.f. Honestly, e.l.f. brushes aren't my favorite, but I do have 2 from them that I really like. The eye brush I like, and I'll use the face brush later, but the eye brush I really like from them is just called the eyeshadow brush. It has the white handle, and it's just a flat shader brush. This is a great little brush. I'm actually going to use it today for this deeper matte, and I'm packing that in like the outer corner of my eye. Now I'm going back to my fluffy brush and blending some more. And I just want to use that shader brush. I wiped it off. I just want to use it to pick up a little bit more of this light brown, and I'm packing that on my lid. I really do want that light brown shade to act as a base for these shimmers as well. So I'm going to leave the eyes there for now. We'll come back to apply those shimmers, but I think my sunscreen has had enough time to set down. So I'm going to go in now with the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I've been testing this out for a couple months now, and I actually have to say I went into this with low expectations because I haven't had the best luck with e.l.f. complexion products in the past, but so far I've really enjoyed this. It's not like my new favorite foundation or anything, but I have for the most part really enjoyed it. So I have the shade 13 Fair Neutral, which I picked out online, and it miraculously ended up being a pretty good shade match. And then I'm blending that in with a damp sponge. This one is from Makeup Revolution. Okay, so there it is on my face. I definitely think that the invisible sunscreen is influencing the finish of this a little bit. It's definitely made it a bit more matte. Usually, I would say this has a soft satin matte finish. It's not dewy on its own either, but I do think it's looking extra matte as a result of this sunscreen. And I will say this is not my favorite pairing, and this sunscreen really just, like, it's nice, but I don't feel like I'm the target skin type for this. And I do feel like even though this foundation as a whole looks nice on my skin, it's a little bit dry, like right here in this region. But as a whole, I think, unless you're getting up super close, it does look really nice. I think my skin overall looks very smooth, blurred. Even though this doesn't have the highest coverage, I would put this at medium coverage. I definitely could build it a little bit more. Whenever I've worn this foundation with other sunscreens and not using this product, I have really, really loved the look of it. There are only 2 products I'm missing from a full face of e.l.f., I should say. I don't have a concealer and I don't have a brow pen. I have tried both the e.l.f. Camo and the Hydrating Camo concealers. Neither one of them really was a favorite, so I didn't want to repurchase either of those just for this video. And I know they have like a Click Up concealer pen as well that I was kind of curious about, but I don't know if they're discontinuing that, but it seemed like they just didn't have the full shade range available right now. I do, however, have the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener, so that we can test today. But as a stand-in for an e.l.f. concealer, I'm just going to use my NYX Bare With Me concealer serum. This is my favorite drugstore concealer. I just already know I don't love either of those e.l.f. Camo concealers. They have good coverage, but I just found them a little bit too heavy. So the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener, I have the shade Fair, and it is just kind of like a classic light pinky toned color corrector. I feel like a little goes a long way with this type of thing, so that dab was actually enough for both under eyes, but I like to just tap it kind of on this like most shadowy part of my under eye. I definitely like this under eye corrector, and this I've used a few times as well, but I don't feel like it's going to replace my NYX Pro Fix Stick, simply because it is a little bit luminous. I kind of thought with a name like Putty it might be more matte, but there's a swatch of it right there. You can see it does have a little bit of luminosity to it. See what I mean? Like a little bit of dewiness. Definitely nowhere near as dewy as like the Makeup Revolution under eye corrector or the Becca under eye corrector. It's a step down from those, but it's just not as blurring and matte as I would prefer. Then on the cheeks, we're going full camo today. I have both the Camo Liquid Bronzer and blush, and actually a new shade of the blush. The bronzer I have in the shade Fair, and I have been testing this out for a couple of months now. I have really liked it. So far, I have found that I'm able to just dot it directly onto my cheeks and blend it from there, which is really nice. And I did want to share, this is one of my favorite brushes from e.l.f. I've had a lot of brushes from e.l.f. over the years, ended up decluttering most of them just over the years, but this one I really like. This is the Ultimate Blending Brush. It's good for like foundation as well, but I like using this kind of brush for cream cheek products. That is very pigmented. I probably did not need that much. But look how easily it spreads. Like, so quick. And even though I'm initially applying it in dots, it's not blending out in a patchy way whatsoever. Really like that tone as well. It's one of those shades, they call it a bronzer and contour. I would say this shade actually could pass for both a bronzer and a contour. Because it is so neutral, it doesn't lean like super gray cool, but it's also not like orangey or golden at all. This ends up looking really natural. Love it. For some reason, I just could not resist this shade of the Camo Liquid Blush. This is a new shade to the line, and it's called Bold Faced Lilac, and I just had to try this one. I thought it looked so cute, especially for spring. I'm going to start with 1 dot per cheek because I don't know how pigmented this is. And I'm using that same brush. I am going to wipe it off in between, but let's see how this blends. Oh, yes, 1 dot was more than enough. Really glad I didn't do 2. That would have been bad. Okay, I might end up having to tone this down a little bit, but I have to say, and this is kind of why I was curious to try another shade of this blush. I wanted to see if it wasn't just the Peach Perfect shade that blends easily. Just because that Peach Perfect shade is so light. This one is a little bit, I mean, it's still a light shade, but it's a little bit more bright and vibrant than that one. And so far I do think that blended really well. Doesn't look patchy, doesn't seem to have lifted up my foundation underneath. Okay, this is probably the product I'm most nervous about. This is my first time trying this, and this is the new Halo Glow Pressed Powder. This is the lightest shade this comes in. Fair, Neutral, Cool. Does this not look so orange to you? I'm so worried that this is gonna end up being too dark. I'm gonna try this actually, like swatching it on my neck because I'm actually getting ready for work right now, and I do need to look presentable. All right, there's a swatch of it on my neck. That does not look too dark, actually. Okay, it must just look dark like that in the pan. All right, let's hope this doesn't do me dirty. As always, I'm just tapping over my under eyes one more time with my concealer brush to make sure everything looks good. Let's try this on my under eyes first, see how that does. Okay, so far it doesn't look too dark, I don't think. Let's apply some to the rest of my face as well, and hopefully this will also kind of tone down that blush a little bit. I'm not sure how much coverage this powder has. I like a translucent powder because I can set my cream cheek products with it and not have to like worry about it covering them up too much. It did provide a little coverage, I would say, because it did tone down that blush a fair amount. I appreciate that because the blush was looking a little strong. So far, I do like that. I do feel like because of this primer, my face is already looking a little bit too dry, but I don't feel like the powder worsened that. Okay, so back to the eyeshadow now. I've been having so much fun with these 2 shades of the Finest Fleck glitter eyeshadows from e.l.f. I have White Hot and Champagne Showers. I've been using them both a ton, but I would say White Hot is my favorite. These are gorgeous. So I'm gonna go in first with Champagne Showers. And this shade I like applying these with my fingers. It's kind of how I like applying most shimmers. And I'm just going to top like the center and outer half of my lid with this shade. A similar shade to like say ColourPop Ritz, but not quite as foiled. This is a little bit more glimmery, I would say. But these have such a nice like fine shimmer to them. So that's Champagne Showers. I'll go ahead and give you a swatch of that on its own too so you can see what it looks like by itself. So that's Champagne Showers. It has like a translucent warm beige base and then a silver glitter shift. Actually, I'll go ahead and swatch it next to Ritz so you can see the difference. So there's Ritz on the bottom. It does have a little bit more of a beige base to it, and it's just like slightly more foiled, I would say. White Hot, I have just found this to be the perfect light shimmery topper for just about anything because this doesn't really have much of a base to it. It's just like a transparent base and then this gorgeous just like white glitter. So this I want to put in like the inner half of my lid and my inner corner. I just wanted to show both of these. If I could only pick one of these, I would pick White Hot because it is just like the perfect all-purpose topper. Pop that in the inner corner too. One other thing I don't have for this video is a highlighter. e.l.f. doesn't really have any powder highlighters in their line that I know of, at least not like single ones. So I decided to skip that step. I used to have the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter, which I would have used for highlighter, but that recently expired on me. So I don't have that anymore, but that's okay. I don't mind going without highlighter. Part of me wants to try this as a highlighter, but I feel like that might be too much. That might be a little too much glitter. Maybe another day I would try that. And then to finish off this eye look, for my eyeliner, I'm going to use the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in Copper Chic, just for like a really quick smudgy liner. You don't even necessarily have to blend this, but I'm just going to take a smudge brush over it really lightly. But yeah, I love this for like a soft liner. My favorite type of liner, honestly. One other substitution, I'm just going to quickly fill in my brows with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. This is what I want to test on one half of my face. I want to see what kind of difference this really makes. So this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I've used this quite a few times now, and I am still not decided on how I feel about it. So let's try it on my left side. This does have a very fine mist. It took me a while to get used to applying it. Even though it does have like that sort of almost like continuous mist style sprayer, I still got some little droplets on my forehead. I don't know if you can see, but I'm just going to tap over that really lightly with my sponge. That usually just does the trick. Yeah. Okay. The setting spray really didn't add any additional glow to my face that I'm noticing right now on this side. I don't really see a difference in the finish. And for mascara, I'm so happy to have this back in my life. I actually just repurchased this and I'm using it for the first time today. This is the e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara. This is my favorite mascara at the moment. It's in the shade brown. It also comes in black and I think like a black brown, but this is a tubing mascara. And I love it because it doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake, it's super easy to remove. I do think it takes like maybe a week or so for it really to reach its best performance, because I do feel like mascaras always end up looking so subtle the first time you apply them, but you just kind of have to like let them thicken up just a tiny bit. Still though, I really like the natural wispy look that this gives my lashes. It is very lengthening. I'll flake off this piece of mascara once it dries, but I want to show you up close my brows. I do feel like this e.l.f. brow glue, like right here in the inner part of my brows, it looks like I have like dry skin or something, but it's the brow glue kind of mixed with my makeup. So I'm gonna try to kind of like flake it off, but I don't know if that's gonna help or make it worse. I don't think that's helping. Yeah, this e.l.f. brow glue, I like how well it holds my brows, but I do feel like it can definitely get that sort of crusty look. Kind of just like wiping off the skin here. Yeah, it's like when that glue gets on your skin, it does just look kind of dry. Last thing, my lip combo. I actually have a lot of lip products from e.l.f., but today this is going to be my lip combo. First I'm going in with the Cream Glide lip liner in Pinky Swear, which is a really cute light pink. Really does glide on in a nice creamy way, and it blends really easily just by going like this. I love wooden pencil lip liners, and this one is really nice. And I say for like $2, you really can't beat these. And then this is like e.l.f.'s version of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip that every brand has come out with their own version of. This is the Pout Clout Lip Plumping Pen in the shade Toasted. I have used this once before, and it reminded me a lot of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. With this kind of thing, I really have to be careful not to apply too much, or else it does get into gloopy territory. But yeah, I really clicked this up like 2 or 3 times max, and that is all I need. Yeah, nice warm peachy nude color. Maybe a little warmer than I would usually go to pair with this cool lilac blush, but I think it definitely works okay, especially because I have that pink lip liner on. So that's the final look. I'm gonna go to work, and then I will check in at the end of the night to share with you how everything held up. Before I sign off, I do want to share the surprise that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of e.l.f. makeup. The reason for this giveaway is actually because I accidentally got sent 2 of the same package from e.l.f. I placed an order on Black Friday for a bunch of these products. What ended up happening was I got a shipping notification the day after I placed that order, and then every time I checked that tracking number for like 3 weeks, it just said USPS awaiting item. It seemed to me like the package had just gotten lost in the mail, so I reached out to e.l.f.'s customer service and they sent a replacement. So I got the replacement like in the next few days, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, I got what I assume is the original package that I thought had gotten lost in the mail. So I ended up with duplicates of a lot of these products. So what I want to do is give them away to one of you. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description box with a really short Google form for you to fill out if you are interested in the giveaway. This doesn't have everything that I featured in this video, but I'll go ahead and put on the screen all the products that are included. And obviously some of those products are very skin tone dependent, like the foundation, the color corrector. So if you do end up getting selected for the giveaway, I'll ask you if you want me to send you these things. If not, I'll just leave them out of the package. So again, check the description box down below for the details on that. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go to work, and I will come back at the end of the night to share with you how everything wore. Okay, I'm back. It is just after midnight, so I guess I've had this makeup on for 7 hours now. I got snowed on, so I feel like I gave it a good wear test. Not that I was like outside in the snow for a long time, but honestly I haven't really looked at my makeup that much, so let's take a look. So you can obviously see where my glasses rubbed off some product. Right off the bat, I don't love how my base looks at all. I think it looks broken apart, especially like in my smile lines. It's really settling. It just looks heavy, and it has really this entire day. And honestly, I think it's the combination of these two products. I have worn this sunscreen with other foundations as well, and I don't know, I didn't hate it quite as much as I hate this. Yeah, it's just looking really heavy. I would not wear this combination again. Or maybe I would try it again in the summer when my skin is not as dry. As far as the setting spray, so this is the side of my face that has setting spray. I do think the side without setting spray is looking a little bit shinier, especially next to my nose. Both sides are shiny, but I really feel like this side is shinier, the side without the setting spray. And I also feel like it really broke down in my smile line and like around my mouth, even more so on this side. The cheek products stayed in place beautifully. I don't think those faded one bit. My brows actually look good. They aren't looking as like crusty even as they were earlier. A couple of the hairs have fallen over on this side. Let me just go ahead and zoom you like all the way in because I want you to see as detailed as you can. So yeah, my brows honestly look pretty good. A couple of the hairs are falling. Like I don't think this is like the strongest hold brow laminating gel, but honestly I'm really happy with the way the brows look. The mascara of course wore great. I don't have any flaking or smudging. No creasing of the eyeshadow. The lip products obviously wore off because I ate and was drinking water, so you know, those are long gone. Really everything except for that base combo looks good. I'll have to apply this on camera sometime without the e.l.f. sunscreen underneath because I do want you guys to see it when it actually looks good, because I do think this foundation does look really nice like 90% of the time. Anyway, yeah, but really happy with how my eyeshadow stayed super locked in. Like it really did not budge, didn't fade, didn't crease at all. I'm not in love with how my under eyes look either. Now, of course, this was only my first time trying this pressed Halo Glow powder, so I will have to continue testing this and see if I even like this powder because I've only tried it one time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what your favorite e.l.f. product is. Is there anything I haven't tried that you think I need to? Yeah, I feel like I was just wanting to kind of catch up with e.l.f. and see what they had put out recently. I think for the most part, they've put out some really good products. I'm impressed. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, as always, I want to give a shout out to my patrons and channel members. Thank you all so much. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye!